Hello learners, I'm Sukhwinder, Associate Professor working in Educational Survey Division of NCERT, New Delhi. Well, uh, we'll be taking up today's session, and the session is related to education as a subsystem of Indian society. So for this particular session, we have certain learning outcomes with us, and the learning outcome goes like this. Understand the concept of education as a subsystem of Indian society. Describe characteristics of education as a subsystem of Indian society. And to draw linkages between education as a subsystem of Indian society along with National Education Policy 2020. So for this particular session, there are certain keywords like education, system, subsystem, Indian society. So we'll be taking up these words and we will try to build our understanding that what does these words stands for: education, system, subsystem, Indian society, so that we'll be able to understand the concept of education as a subsystem of Indian society. Now, I hope you all are undertaking degree in education, so you are well versed with the word education. But still, when you hear the word education for the first time, what all ideas comes to your mind? So, if I pose a question in front of you that what does education stands for, maybe some of you may be providing me with the meaning of the word education etymologically, meaning of the word education. Some of you may be giving thoughts by different thinkers like Aurobindo, Vivekananda, Gandhiji, that what they have said about education. Some of you must be talking about the processes, what is this process of education, what happens in this process of education. Some other may be giving me implications of the word education, that how education is helpful to the society. So in front of you, you are able to see there are several question marks. Just give a pause and think for 1 second. What all ideas comes to your mind when you hear the word education for the first time? Well, with this small exercise, with the ice-breaking exercise, we'll be moving further. And let us sum up some of the points which normally we receive from students when we hear the word education. So students will definitely like to say that it's a process of imparting or acquiring knowledge. It may be a kind of developing the powers of reasoning and judgment. Some others may say that this is act of imparting or acquiring skills and competencies for a profession. Another group of students may say that these are the results produced from training, study, or instruction. Or we can say that this process is there to attain instructional objectives. There may be another set of students, those who will link it with degree level or kind of schooling, and still there are a group of students, those who will say that so it deals somewhere with teaching pedagogies as it's an art and science of pedagogy. Right. So with this opening statements regarding education, let's go to the next concept of system. So on your screen, you are able to visualize several words. So broadly, you will be able to read out solar, digestive, computer, operating, political, university, school, number, and at your own also you may try to identify some of the words hidden in this collage. So when you look very closely and examine these words very closely, so you will see that there is some element of commonness in these words. So let's try to see how these words are interlinked, how these words are interrelated. So one common aspect of these set of words is that all these words has some sort of components, or we can say it has got parts. So these parts we can refer to as components. So apart from that, all these words like digestive, computer, school needs to have some sort of components. Of course, there are certain components And all these components are functioning together in an interrelated and independent manner towards the attainment of certain functions of the system as the whole. So what we can understand from the concept of system, that it has got number of components. So there are different parts. All these parts are functioning together in an interrelated and interdependent manner towards the attainment of certain functions of the system as a whole. Moving further, there is a concept of society as a system. So learners, I hope you are all aware about the term society. When we say society, it is nothing but group of people living in more or less cluster called society. And all these people, they have got some common tradition, some common institutions, and some common collective activities and their interests. So this Indian society has several subsystems operating within this larger system. To mention a few, we can say that there's an economic system, political system, education system, transportation and communication system, and all these subsystems are working in interrelated and interdependent manner. And now, what is the purpose of these subsystems? These subsystems, so they are working in such a manner to achieve a set of goals, to achieve successful perpetuation of the society. The society should continue, society should progress, society should move further, and in order to meet this particular objective, society has certain subsystems, and these subsystems are working in an integrated manner, interrelated manner, and working in sync with each other to achieve the larger objective. I'll request all of you to visualize the image shown on your screen. So what does this image represent? So image is representing, say on the top we have got a caption like society, which is a larger system, and then there's a subsystem called as education. And there are several other components of education as a subsystem like culture, economy, state, religion, and family. And what we can visualize from this image, that there's a web. So there are arrows which are connecting to different components of the system and subsystem. Like society is well connected with the culture, society is also well connected with the education, society comprises of family, society has institution like religion, society has state, society has people, those who are involved in economic activities. And what we can infer from this particular image, that arrows are shown in both the direction, which indicates that there's a mutual relationship between these elements. It's not only relationship, but they all are interdependent on each other, working for a one major goal, that is perpetuation of the society, as I have rightly pointed out. And further we will see that how these elements are interconnected. Let me take one example, that education helps in attaining vertical mobility, right? Education helps in enlightenment. Education helps in attaining skills and competencies. Fine. And what happened? So after, say, attaining these skills, after attaining knowledge, after attaining competencies, so there is a generation of human resources which ultimately contribute to the society. So what we can interpret here is, say, these are the different elements of education as a subsystem of the society, and these elements are independent but still they are working in an integrated manner and to achieve the larger common goal. So let's have explanation to this segment, education as a subsystem to the society. In a societal system, education as a subsystem fulfill parts or functions of the society, with getting the young one ready for the adult roles that they have to play, thus maintaining society over time. In other words, we can say that the process of socializations take place in society. Further, what we can see that education works in close relationship with other subsystems like family, economy and state, etc. Education also provides the necessary human resources for the subsystems. Now, let us move on to understand some of the characteristics and functions of education as subsystem of education. So, to begin with, let me express this thing that education is a part of a large system called society. As earlier also I have conveyed that say society is a larger system and it contains several other smaller subsystems like economic system, political system and social system and so on. So each system has its own rules, set of rules, norms and regulations. Not only that, it has got specific aims and objectives. And when it comes to education, we say that the aim of education is to have overall development of human beings, or else what we can say that to have holistic development of the individual. So that does not only restrict to physical, but also includes social, emotional, behavioral, spiritual growth of an individual. So, to extend it further, what we can say that the subset on education receive inputs from the society and subsequently changes occur in the system of education. So let's take one example. So how a society takes input from the education. So once these human resources are generated, so the enlightened youth of the country, they contribute to the economy, they work as a workforce, they contribute to the economy and they add to the well-being of the nation in economic terms. Society also arranges several resources for the education sector, like it provides human resources in the form of teachers. It also provides infrastructure from other external environments and other systems of the society. Let's not forget that there are so many philanthropists, there are non-government organizations, those who are part of the society and still coming and contributing for the noble cause of education. So we can see the relationship between the society and education, and on the other hand we have also seen how education contributes to the society. So education enhances the functioning of other systems of the society and act like changing factor and transmitter of changes. Education is also affected by other subsystems like culture, religion and economy. There's another segment where we have dealt with that how this education as a subsystem of society is related with National Education Policy 2020. We all are aware that, say, the nation received National Education Policy in July 2020 and it provides several recommendations in the field of school education and in the area of higher education. So, say there are certain introductory pages which talks about the vision of National Education Policy 2020. Let's try to relate, how, say, the vision of NEP 2020 reflects the essence of that school or education is a subsystem of the society. So let me take 3 points which are stated in the policy. Like the first one goes like this: an education system that contributes to an equitable and vibrant society by providing high quality education to all. So I think the points which we have discussed earlier, say while discussing the concept of education, the concept of system, the concept of subsystem, that how, say, the education system contributes to an equitable and vibrant society. So what is the ultimate aim? Ultimate aim to have equitable and vibrant society, and this can be attained by providing quality education to all the children of the country, right? Then there's a second say point which reflects the vision of National Education Policy 2020, and it goes like this: to develop a deep sense of respect towards the fundamental rights, duties and constitutional values, bonding with one's own country, and conscious awareness of one's roles and responsibility in the changing world. So in this, the vision of the policy states that to develop a deep sense of respect. It's not surface level, say, respect, but it's a deep sense of respect. Deep sense of respect for fundamental rights, duties, and constitutional values, bonding with one's own country. And once this is there, then this will lead to having strong, effective political system in the country, right? And now I think you can establish the relationship between the education as a subsystem of the society and how it's contributing to the political system of the country. Once the citizens are enlightened, probably they will be aware of their fundamental rights, they will be aware of their fundamental duties, they will be having constitutional values, and they will be having strong bond with their own country, and they will also be conscious about awareness of their own role and towards their responsibility in changing this world. So the third vision of national education policy is to instill skills, values and dispositions that supports responsible commitment to human rights, to sustainable development and living and global well-being, thereafter reflecting a global citizen. So education helps us in imparting skills, values and disposition that supports responsible commitment to human rights, to take care of sustainable development goals, and to be there as a global citizen, not only as a citizen of the country, but with the feeling of becoming global citizen. So what we have realized in this small presentation, that education is a subsystem of the society. So it's very well correct that, say, society is a larger system. Society has got several components, as I have rightly pointed out, that society has got political system, it has got economical system, it has got transportation system, it has got communication system, and all these systems are working in tandem, in an integrated manner, in an interrelated manner, for the upliftment of the society, for the perpetuation of the society, and say along with the other systems of the society, education also plays a very major role. So education does not only draws the inputs from the society, but education contributes to the society, as I have stated in my presentation, that there's a generation of human resources. So human beings, they are provided with knowledge, they are provided with skills, their competencies are developed, and once their competencies are developed, they are used in the industries, they are used as a workforce, and they are considered as a demographic dividend. They contribute for the nation, and not only that, they contribute to the other segments of the society, like they contributed to the political system, they contribute to economic system, they contribute to trade, they contribute to transportation and communication system, and likewise they contribute to several other subsystems of the society. So I hope the concept is very clear. So we have got society on the top, then there are subsystems of the society. All these systems work in a sync, in an integrated manner, in an interrelated manner for the common cause. And education draws, say, several inspirations from the society. Like when we say that we are developing our curriculum, we are developing our syllabus, we are developing our textbooks, we draw inspiration from the society. So we need to consider the societal demands, we need to consider societal aspirations to impart education to the students of the country, whether studying at the level of school education or at the higher education level. So this is how, so there's a symbiotic relationship between school and education and society per se. So I hope the concept is very clear, and towards the end there are certain questions which needs to be reflected by you people. Like what you can do, you can define the term system in 50 words. You can justify the statement like society is a system and that education is a subsystem of the societal system. So you have to justify the statement maybe in around 300 to 400 words. Then you can also explain the role of education in socialization process. So with this, we conclude our presentation. So for further inquiries, you can contact us on our email address. And with that, thank you all the learners. Thank you very much.